And now, our feature presentation.
And now, being recorded in front of a live studio audience of people with the feels, it's the most random show on the internet. It's TBK Live.
Let's start a riot. Dance in the fire. Let's take it higher. Shine a little brighter. So what you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? So what you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? Everybody come on. Everybody come on. Everybody sing na 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 na.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most random show on the internet. Welcome to a brand new episode of TBK Live here on tbkmagazine.com and tbkradio.com because I don't have enough URLs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just seems, and there'll probably be more in the future because someone gave me a really good suggestion that we're going to start doing around Halloween, which we might talk about today.
Okay.
Who knows?
Hey, they're putting out the Halloween stuff.
Went to the Dollar Tree yesterday to get stuff for Chicago, and we see all the Halloween candy out, and I just wanted to be like really fat and just roll around in it like I was Scrooge McDuck.
I almost brought up to work yesterday, like to my team that I work with, that we need to start thinking about our costumes. I feel like it's time.
It's never too early to do costumes.
You know, at work, we take it pretty seriously. Like, everyone dresses up, and I absolutely love that. Like, that I work at a place where they do that.
Are you going to be Death?
Probably not.
We've been trying to do this for 3 freaking years.
Well, they don't like scary costumes because we see kids.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, there was one
You
one
could
year.
just say you're a Sith Lord.
Yeah. Apparently, before I got there, because we split away from a larger clinic, we opened our own. So before, at the previous clinic, apparently there's someone who did like super elaborate makeup, and she did like an extremely scary costume one year, and it didn't sit well with some kids. So they discouraged scary makeup and such.
And those kids got extra dum-dum pops.
We have dum-dums.
Those are the best things.
It's my job to keep up with the dum-dums.
Before we get into our favorite dum-dum flavors, probably should be like, hey, everybody, joining me today is someone I am proud to call my sister from another mister, Miss Sharon Isom.
Hi, everyone.
I said something nice.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll. I haven't been mean to anybody lately, except for Brody on this week's episode of Cinecrat. All right, back to dum-dums. Root beer.
No, it's gross. There are two
How
new...
is root beer gross?
I hate root beer. There's two seasonal flavors out right now.
Pumpkin spice?
No, caramel apple
I can get behind
and
that.
apple cider.
That's a little too much apple. I want pumpkin.
I tried the caramel the caramel apple one. It was pretty good.
I kind of want to try. I probably would try the caramel apple. I don't know if I would do apple cider in a lollipop form, but
The thing that makes me laugh the most, because I have to like keep them stacked up into like this like a dum-dum looking tree thing. Anyway,
dum.
it makes me laugh. Like there'll be like people who walk by like clearly like adults. They'll be like, I've got like 4 grandkids at home, and they're like take handfuls, and I'm like, you could have just said you wanted one. Like, I don't care.
I've been trying to get Ashley every time we go through the bank ATM to get me a Tootsie Roll, and she won't do it. Like, just knowing that makes
They're
me feel
not very
happy.
expensive.
I know, but it's like, we're there. They have Tootsie Rolls. I know they give them to kids. They'll probably give them to anybody, honestly. But Ashley's like, you're too old for a Tootsie Roll. And I get really sad inside. Like,
Tootsie Rolls are delicious.
They are the best candy ever. Ever.
It is on Eli's braces no-no list.
No.
And this week, he came home and he said that he had a science project at school. They were learning how to do assessments.
Right.
And he had to do one on a Starburst.
That sucks.
And part of it was to do how it tasted. And he can't eat Starburst. And
Will you taste this for me and tell me how it is?
And he was like, his classmate told him to lick it. So he was over there like licking his Starburst. So he's navigating,
You really should introduce
6th grade.
You should really introduce your kids to Good Mythical Morning.
I don't know what Good Mythical Morning is.
Were you not part of the episode
No.
I discussed this on? What show
No.
did I discuss this on?
I don't know.
Holy balls. You need to check out I think it was our last episode of Live. It just proves how much you pay attention to me. You should check out Good Mythical Morning. It's a YouTube show that's daily on the weekdays, and it's a talk show, but it's geared more towards families.
Okay.
and they eat weird stuff, and they do like fun little things and games and stuff, kind of like us, but family friendly.
Yeah, okay.
That pretty much sums. They play games that are family friendly.
Gotcha.
But when you said that, that's one of the things. They are always blindfold, and they have to guess what they're eating sometimes. And I'm thinking, and one of the usual lifelines is to lick it.
Gotcha.
It's a fun little show. By the way, if you haven't checked that out, I love those guys. That's probably a haul waiting to happen.
Gotcha. We'll have to check it out then.
It's a fun show. It's fun. I mean, it's a good way to kill 20 or 30, 40 minutes a day, which you kind of need sometimes, especially in school.
Yep.
Especially in school. This is a special episode of Live, apparently, because we already talked about Dum-Dums, and those things are awesome. Worst Dum-Dum flavors, watermelon.
I don't like watermelon anyway.
I like watermelon Jolly Ranchers. I can't stand the watermelon Dum-Dums or the mystery flavor one.
It's always different.
Yeah, I always get the blue one.
I was gonna say they're just random flavors.
I hate the blue one.
Yeah, I had a little girl one time that was mad because she thought she was gonna get a purple flavor because they're purple wrappers, and
Right.
it was not. So she was very
I can't
angry.
believe you hate the root beer flavor. Send all your hate mail.
Ugh, I don't like root beer.
And that's weird.
There is 3 out of 4 people in my house that does not like root beer.
And the one that does like root beer makes up for all 4 of you.
Yeah, he gets it at every restaurant.
Can you blame him? Yeah. I mean,
So
this is a very special episode of Live. It is our anniversary. And I don't want to say how old the show is because our numbers do not reflect that. But but there's reasons. We've gone through a lot of let me rephrase this. You haven't been part of the growing pains, but I've been through a lot of growing pains. And not the ones that were hosted that had Alan Thicke on it. We've gone through a lot of stuff, and today we're going to answer some of your live questions. I don't know why. I thought this would be a fun little episode to reflect on and talk about things we don't ever talk about. So there's a reason that we never prepared for this show. Is the cat staring at you oddly?
yes,
Yeah.
she was doing like her sexy hose
Oh my God.
and her come hither eyes.
That cat. Does anyone else have, like, I think the cat. Okay, so is anyone else's cat's possessed? Last night, she's running around the house and her eyes get really wide and huge, as if she's, well, okay then.
She really was doing come hither eyes because now she's like up here in my face.
Like, it's sexy cat time. Pet me. This cat, I'm telling you, she's a riot. But I think she's possessed.
It's possible.
I think there could be a lot of her problem right
I think
now.
probably
she's
like
possessed.
75% of cats are anyway.
Oh, possessed
Yeah.
with some sort of
Yeah.
demonic thing, or just
Just in general. I mean, I think demonic's possibility.
that's a wine barrel cat. No, all right, there you go. It's metal. You put corks in it. Oh my God! All right, so back to what we were just. I don't know. This is gonna be a fun show. We're gonna do some reflection today. This is like I said, this episode is just for you guys that's been subscribed and listen to the show all the time. I don't know if it'll make the website, but it may not be the heavily promoted show. Because as this show goes up, and she is going for the corks.
Stop that.
And down with the Riddler. So as this show goes up, Ashley and I are on our way to Chicago for StarCast at the Hyatt Regency, and she is in the barrel at the Hyatt Regency, guys, and that's going to be a fun weekend. We're going to have interviews. The first interview went up yesterday with wrestling star Jeff Jarrett. You can check that out at tbkradio.com or at the magazine. If you subscribe to iTunes, you'll see it there too. So yeah, this is going to be a fun one. We got a lot of questions to go through, and some that I've never heard you answer.
Well, if I haven't been asked before, then I probably
I don't know
haven't
what just
answered
fell
them.
off the table, honestly. The cat is now just completely taking over the show.
Magnets.
Oh. And we're back. Okay, so I pushed the cat off the desk. Do I feel bad about it? Hell no.
No, she's trying to play with my pepper spray.
If that goes off, we're all fucked. Guys, if you haven't checked out our store, Shop TBK, tbkmagazine.com/shoptbk, pick up one of our awesome t-shirts for just $13. That's awesome. That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And they're soft. I finally watched the first one because we have like 3 in every one. You don't have to watch 3 of them. Watch the first one, and it's softer.
Lovely.
And I'm like, this is the type of shirt you want all the time. This is an awesome t-shirt. Shop TBK, $13. Use the code all in at checkout until September, I think 16th or 18th, and get free shipping.
Lovely. That's great.
So you guys can have a really cool deal. Take advantage of that. Pick up all the books from Burning Willow Press. The complete library is in our store. I have been told there's a new Crossroads coming out in December.
Yes.
I have been told that this one might make me piss myself, and I'm already pretty bad about that with the third one.
Yes.
I don't like scary things.
I do.
Well, not to the point where I do, because nothing scares me. Okay, so let me rephrase that. Movies don't scare me.
Yeah.
Reading it will terrify the crap out of
Well,
me.
you know, I don't like slasher movies because I don't feel that they're very realistic. But reading things is completely different.
Because your mind can twist them into where they are realistic.
Right.
Which, by the way, if you have not guessed, Cinecrap at Halloween will be the greatest thing in the world. As I've got some really bad horror movies planned out for that.
Okay.
So that, I mean, don't forget to get their books. I'm right now in the process of reading S.L. Perrine's new one.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
I love her books. I love her writing style. They're easy to read.
Yes, they are.
And that's something you guys should
Yep.
check out. Jim Masters, who's also a writer on the site. I love the Book of Mark and the Book of Roland. Good grief. You know what happens when you do a show early in the morning, your brain doesn't work?
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now.
It's okay.
My brain is turned off. And don't forget to... I forgot where else we're going. No, that's it.
It's okay.
Oh, Knocking Point. If you
Oh,
love
yes.
wine, you can buy wine straight from your house, have it shipped to your door, a box every, I think, season. 4 times a year, get a box of wine shipped to your door. You can't beat that. KnockingPointWines.com. Use the code TBK at checkout and get $20 off your first wine box. Jason Momoa. Oh, have I told you what has happened in the tournament?
No.
So we are in the Final Four. As of
I know it's not going the way I expected.
No, it is not. Okay, so we're at the Final Four right now.
We did pretty good on the Disney one.
We are wrong on this one.
I'm so surprised.
Okay, so you guys have been voting. We filled out our bracket last time, and our finals was Wonder Woman versus Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Here is what's a possibility for you, the fans, are right now as we record this show, because the voting ends at 5 tonight. On Wednesday, as we're recording this. This goes up on Thursday. That's all I'm going to say. So we don't know. As of right now, Captain America is beating Deadpool.
Absolutely insane.
The Captain America made it to the finals, but Cap is the semifinals. He beat Spider-Man, which blows my mind.
How the crap do you guys do that to Spider-Man?
And if that's not enough to make you go, what? Aquaman is on a tear right now. He has beat Superman in the first round.
Like, did y'all guys do this out of spite? Like, did y'all listen to our last show and be like, we're going to teach y'all?
Fuck him! And Aquaman then beat Wonder Woman. And now Aquaman's beating Batman.
What is wrong with y'all? If this is how y'all treat us, we're not going to do another bracket. We're just not going to do that.
Halloween, we're going to be doing our horror movie bracket. Don't listen to Sharon. I couldn't believe that when I saw that. I went, wow. So Aquaman and Cap are loved. Which I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised that they are in the lead.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
completely... I didn't know if I had told you that yet.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew that Spider-Man was gone.
Which... I'm baffled that I'm not, because I thought Deadpool would win, but now Cap's ahead. I don't know anymore.
I'm really surprised that Deadpool's gone.
Well, he's not gone yet. There's still like 6 hours of voting. So
I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
He might pull it around.
Well, I will
It's
say
true.
this. Last time Wonder Woman was ahead by 10% with the voting going down to the wire.
Yeah.
And within the last hour, Aquaman ended up winning like 72%. I went, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Aquaman. People love him some Aquaman. Jason Momoa has turned the Aquaman character around.
Have you updated Tiffany?
No.
You're going to have to fill her in.
We're playing a game. She does not know this. But while we're driving to StarCast, as of right now, we're playing games at StarCast. I'm making our wrestling show turn into live for a weekend, for a way. You know, we're going to do all the stupid games and stuff. But one of the games is, does our staff member think he's hot or not? and I'm just going to send her pictures of wrestlers, and and her response is going to be the answer. So I'm going to be like, is this guy hot or not?
Goodness.
She doesn't know this is happening because I figure she has not listened to the show. And
Yeah.
by the time she's getting the pictures and she hears this, she's going to get pissed. But there's a reason we're doing it. And you can win some really cool stuff. Ashley also bought a thumb wrestling ring
Nice.
for any guests or celebrities or fans that just want to thumb wrestle each other. And we're giving away, get this, coupons to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Nice.
Out of all places, which is awesome. Last week, you and my wife was in cahoots.
Yes.
Cohorts?
Cohorts.
Yeah. You were in cahoots to throw a birthday party, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, for like the last month or a month and a half.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how long we've been.
So she
working
told
on it.
me, number one, when she had the idea. And then number two, she thought I had figured it out. Because I was talking about, for everyone who does not know, it was a office party, the TV show, not like an office party where we were in an office building.
Yeah.
She thought I had figured it out because I was quoting the show a lot.
Which, in all fairness,
We were still watching. And I mean, it's the episodes we've watched, which
Yeah.
Are You Still Watching returns not this week, but next week because hecticness.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she thought I figured it out. The entire time she has thought I figured it out. She was so worried about it. I'm going to tell you something you don't know either by the end of this. But you guys had games planned. We played Flonkerton. Well, an abridged version of Flonkerton. It wasn't actual boxes.
We had to, work with what we could do.
We almost died. All three of us that did it almost died.
So I'll tell you something. We she did most of like the pre-planning. We actually put together the games that day. About 2 hours before.
That I can appreciate that for a lot of reasons.
She didn't know she could pull it off. She didn't really know how to put it into scale. And so I was like, let's do this. Like, we can do this. And so we ran to Dollar Tree and Walmart, and we got everything we needed. My heart was incredibly happy. We found a gold Yoplait lid. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's meant to be.
Just one.
I was incredibly excited. Oh my gosh, Walmart was like hell that day. It was so bad.
Well, it's Walmart,
Oh my gosh.
right after back to school started.
Oh, it was so bad. So bad.
Walmart's terrible in general, but that's another argument.
And that's why you actually came to your party a little late, but then Jesse misunderstood the instructions, so you got there like really late.
I showed up fashionably late to my own party.
Yeah.
I'm cool with
And
that.
we were all like standing there just like looking at our time. Like,
I
we're like, oh my gosh, where is he?
So you called Jesse while we're in the car.
Yeah.
And Jesse, and I can hear you go, where are you? Everybody's impatiently waiting for him.
Yes. I was like, you were supposed to be there at like 1:10, and Jesse didn't even leave the house until like after 1:10 to get you.
Well, I mean, I was just sitting there watching, get this, Good Mythical Morning, because I didn't want to watch anything and then be like, oh, all of a sudden I'm going to have to leave in the middle of it. But
Yeah, that's fine.
And
Yeah.
I was waiting on him, and you sent me the text, or Ashley sent me the text. Hey, Jesse's going to be the one that picks you up. And I went, yeah, I don't trust this. That's the first thing out of my mouth. Like, I don't trust this at all.
Yeah, so we threw together the games last minute, and that's why we had Jesse come get you a little bit late, is because we didn't know if we were going to finish in time, and we were literally rushing until the very last moment.
So to bring up something about the games before we get into what the game was that screwed me up, because I got hurt. The trivia game.
That was pre-planned. Ashley had that one done.
Ashley also left it on my computer.
Did she?
However,
you cheat?
No. However, I saw that. Okay, so when you walk in, my computer monitor is against our black banner. So you can see if it's on, and you can almost tell what program is on. If this thing's lit up like a mofo, it's Word. And I I didn't leave Word up. So I walked around and turned the computer off and then come back around. Yeah.
That's great.
I knew it was up, and I was like, yeah, I don't want it. I looked enough to go, oh, that's Word, and she probably printed something, so I turned off the computer. And then didn't open Word again until I got it.
That was great.
See? Nice guy.
That was wonderful.
Because I knew she left it up. But I also only missed like 3 questions on that.
Yeah, you
quiz.
did good.
Poor Hannah. Poor Hannah. She's just like, nope. No. So when office trivia happens on trivia night, we're good to go.
Yeah.
We're good
You
to
did
go.
really good.
So you guys came up. We did Flonkerton, which was just taping. Was it strapping?
We did school paper, like just college ruled paper
Let's start with
the loose
Flonkerton.
leaf.
I'm going to go backwards. Let's start with Flonkerton.
So we did Flonkerton last. We wanted to make sure we included that because that's like my favorite part of Office Olympics. So we got school paper, and we did like four packs to a foot.
And who ended up with all the paper? The teacher in the
Yeah,
group.
she got so excited when we walked in. She was like, "Is that paper over there?" And we were like, "Yeah, you can have it at the end if it makes it through it." So we took masking tape and like bound it up, and we couldn't figure out for sure how to like attach it to a person's foot because in the show it was just like
the strap on the box.
Yeah, the plastic strap. So when we were at Dollar Tree, we got like bungee cords.
So you have these notepad, like these, I guess, paper
packs
bags,
of-
the packs
yeah.
of paper just flopping on your foot.
Yeah.
It's the world's worst snowshoe.
Yeah. So we got the bungee cords and we had to kind of like rig it up.
It was bad.
Yeah. So it like looped over a person's like the back of their foot and it attached around and it was really elaborate and not well done.
Hannah and her sister do every game with me. And they were able to do this game easy. You can just hear me walking and it's...
And after you guys did it, I don't know if you know, but Zeke actually did it too.
Yeah, I
just so
saw
he
that,
could
yeah.
experience it. He was unimpressed. Like, you should have seen his face. He was just like completely unimpressed with the whole process.
This would have been cooler if it had boxes, Mom.
Yeah.
So, and then we do the trivia game, which I killed. But your guys' Orbeez game, whatever you guys put in those, it's like the things you put the gel balls that you put flowers in. That sucked to clean up.
It actually wasn't too bad at the end.
That was the equivalent of herpes. Like that was glitter.
When we were standing there in Dollar Tree, we're like, okay, we've got these mugs. What can we put in these mugs that is going to be difficult to run with and won't make a hot mess to clean up, you know? And I was like, how about pom-poms? You know, like just little pom-poms that you do crafts with.
Rah-rah?
The little fuzzy ones, you know? And so we went over there to the craft stuff and we're like, okay, there's like 10 in a pack for $1. Well, that's not going to fill up a cup. That's stupid. And so then we found the little gel things that you put in the vases for the plants. And you could get like a whole thing of those for $1. And we're like, okay, that'll work. So we got 3 jars of them. And when we first took off the lid, like they went everywhere, like all over the place. It was a real big mess, but we're like, okay, it'll still work.
And then Hannah and her sister are going to race like they do in the episode.
Yeah, but they don't seem to get the concept that you're not supposed to spill any.
Oh, they're beating each other.
They're
up
like
around that
shoving
first
each
court.
other and they spill it everywhere. I'm like, hey, you guys lose, like automatically lose. And they're still running. They're still running around the room.
They're trying to just win against each other at this point.
Guys, you're cheating. It's done. You lost. And they're still going.
They don't care. At this point, it's about beating their sister.
So we have to stop the race and change the rules. It now has to be a solo timed race because they can't race each other. It's not going to work.
And it was weird picking those up though. If you put those in between your fingers, it's the nastiest thing I've ever experienced.
Everyone's like picking them up, going, "Ew, gross, explodes, ew."
So the first game we play, however, is paper basketball with the smallest basket ever, which no one can make shots because we weren't using an actual trash can like they do on the show. But I'm going to tell you something you don't know. So that night, after we played our board games and stuff, my arm swelled up to like probably the size of a grapefruit, and I had to wrap ice around it. I popped my arm out of place or pulled a muscle that night from playing waste paper basketball. And that's when I realized that I'm an old fuck.
Yeah.
Pretty much sums it
And we
up.
played horse that way. And I don't know.
It took forever.
It did take forever, but it was fine. And we enjoyed it. And the only thing is, like, there was some older family members in the room. And I don't know that they all appreciated like the whore and the hoe reference that also came from the show.
Yep.
Yeah, like you could see their faces; they were just like completely not appreciative.
My mother's in the background going, "No, he's a whore." So I was like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
yeah, and it was a show reference. Like it really was. It was
It
a
was a
direct.
show.
It was a direct show reference.
But everyone just kept running with it and running with it.
yeah, yeah,
Especially Hannah.
yeah,
Hannah's the one that ran with it the most. Like, and I went, "Oh crap!"
yeah, yeah. So anyway,
It was a good party though, and I thank you guys so much. And then that night we had board games
Yeah.
and
it was so much fun. Like it might as well have been my party. Like I was just so excited. Like we were setting it up. I was just so excited.
blast of a party.
Oh, and we set it up to be
but-
to look kind of terrible. Like there was sad balloons
This
and there
is
was
your birthday period.
Yeah,
Or it
and-
is your birthday period.
yeah, it was just it's your birthday banner with a period on it.
Not even an
and-
exclamation mark.
Yeah, and we had like sad white streamers that were just kind of dangling with half inflated balloons. And
This is based on Kelly's party, which I think is from season 5 or 6.
yeah,
I'm not 100% sure.
it looked really. It was intentionally to look sad, and we had someone there who didn't understand, who was trying to help us set it up, and she kept trying to make it look better. And Ashley and I were going behind.
Hi, Ashley's Nana. I already know what you're talking about. Hi, Ashley's Nana.
And we kept trying to explain, but she didn't quite get it. And so she even like went behind us to make a streamer that looked better. We left it. We left it. It was fine.
There was one good-looking streamer in every
Yeah.
So
Ashley,
technically, Ashley's Nana was your Angela.
yes. Yes, yeah. And Ashley had printed off memes and stuff, and I had them framed and put on the table so people could take them home.
Those were awesome.
It was really great. I just really enjoyed the party.
I
Like
felt
I said,
God in this here Chili's tonight.
like I said, it might as well have been my party. Like I was just like so happy.
It seemed like everyone had fun.
So, yeah.
And then, like I said, we played board games that night.
And then Tiffany got to take home all of the office supplies in the gift bags. So she was so excited.
On an unrelated note, we've never had this many people in our living room.
No.
And
Wait.
I have learned something that everyone's friends that they have brought into the group just fucking work.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is.
Yeah.
But I'm like, so Tiffany brings a friend. She's never been around us. She has no idea what to expect. And Tiffany's trying. I don't know if Tiffany warned her, but she just comes in and just starts reading the cards that are crabs against humidity cards. And it's just boom, boom, boom. Like, yeah, you fit in.
Yeah.
Like, you're here. Thanks. Welcome to the party. So it was a blast. I thank you guys because, I mean, it made the birthday special, but Ashley was so pissed at Walmart.
Oh, it was terrible.
They
oh,
fucked
no.
up the cake. They took down the wrong date or they didn't think it was real. I don't know what the answer was.
They had
there.
the easiest cake order ever. It was supposed to just be a plain white icing cake.
With maybe a little chiclet in the middle.
Yeah.
Which
it
could
was just-
represent a TV or a pillow. I know what she was doing after she
It
told-
was just.
And then she tried to explain to Nana what she wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that did happen. So there's a happy birthday Richard cake. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, whatever. I was okay with it. The cake was really good
Yeah,
though.
it was good.
So what are you binge watching right now?
Currently, just started watching Afflicted on Netflix. It is the documentary on people with chronic illnesses. It's interesting. It's interesting because you get to see like them seeking out alternative medicine.
Do they highlight some of the diseases that you can't see?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I know fibro is one of those. Like I would like, I want to know more about fibro just in general because you can't really grasp that even from.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with like Lyme's disease, chronic Lyme disease anyway, which brings about a lot of conditions that you can't see. There's someone on there with hyper electromagnetic sensitivity, which are affected by electromagnetic waves. So like just your computer equipment would be
mess
causing
them up.
headaches and nerve pain and things like that.
I got you.
Yeah, so there's a lot of illnesses on there that you can't see, which unfortunately a lot of people have negative connotations because they appear to be well, you know. And then there's, and you know, as a migraine sufferer, that is something that I even face because you can't prove that you're having migraines.
Other than your face looks like crap.
Yeah, you can't prove it. And so a lot of these people, myself included. You go to a provider and you feel like
They
you're
think
just
you're
there.
lying.
Yeah, that you're just there for drugs or
I
So,
went through that with one of the
Yeah.
doctors recently because I have the same. I even have
Yeah.
seizures on top of mine, and she just was like, "You just need pills."
yeah.
I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't want to be given
Or,
pills."
Yeah, or it's a psychosomatic problem. It starts in your mind, your brain. So you need therapy. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, and I'm not saying that all of them actually have a physical problem. Some of it is probably mental, but there are people that actually do have physical problems. So it's an interesting thing to explore. And then over the weekend, I watched Innocence, which is a Netflix original, and I watched Sinner, which is by producer Jessica Biel, and she's in it too.
I like her.
Yeah, I enjoyed all of them.
I finished Glow.
It's good, isn't it?
I love season 2. Okay, so I think season 2 to me was better than season 1 even. And my favorite episode is the one where they do the Glow episode. Mm-hmm. That is so perfectly just, it
Where they do
reminisces the 80s so
Where
much.
they do the opening scene?
Yeah, where they
Yeah.
do,
Oh.
where they do the whole episode and it's just storyline after storyline.
Oh, gotcha.
Like,
Yeah.
where Britannica's had her brain taken by the
Yeah.
voodoo queen. And
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
That entire episode is funny.
Yeah, I think it really comes into its own in that second season.
Oh, it just got renewed for the 3rd season. I don't know how many people know that, but super excited.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Absolutely the best Netflix show. And there's pop vinyls now.
Yes.
Zoya has one, and crap, I can't think of her name.
Is it Liberty Bell?
Yeah, Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
I was like, I know it's Debbie Egan. I know that's
Yeah.
the character's name. Why can't I think anything else? So,
Yeah, I think people should check out that show, even if you're not a wrestling fan.
oh no, it's not.
You
I
know?
mean,
yeah.
if you love Community, you're definitely going to enjoy this. One, Mark Maron's great in
Yeah.
the show, and that's a character I hated in season 1. In season 2, I'm like, you're my spirit animal.
Yeah. Yeah, because you get to see him more, as you get to see him as a person, you get to see him with his daughter and,
Ashley looked at me and went, "That's you as a boss." Halfway through season 2, she's like, "That's you."
yeah.
She's like, "You would do what he just did and still be a dick to everyone else in the staff."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. I'm okay with that. I just don't have a creepy 80s porn staff. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Mark Maron's a dry humor. Have you ever seen one of his stand-up specials?
Uh-uh.
I recommend it. Very sarcastic and dry. I feel like you would appreciate that a lot. So I made ribs the other night. Before we really get into things here. I made ribs, and we've had them in our freezer for a while. Like, we got them on sale, and I was like, hey, ribs. I cooked them, and I mean, it was all meat. It was like our house started to smell like human urine.
Oh.
I don't know how to explain. Like, it was I thought I pissed myself.
You thought?
Yeah. I was sitting on the couch, and there's this smell resonating through the entire apartment. And I'm like, I know that smell. That's pee. And I looked down to see if I dribbled, number one. I'm just making fun of myself constantly, aren't I? I threw out my arm, and now I'm seeing if I peed on myself within the span of a week. So
You should just be around nurses because, like, it's nothing for us to be standing there, like, and turning around in, like, circles. Is that pee?
yeah.
Where's that pee coming from?
So I cooked the ribs, and I pulled because you're supposed to cook them covered anyway, and I pulled the tinfoil off, and it's just, hi, if urine, poof.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with these ribs? So 2 of the ribs smelled like urine, the other 2 didn't. And I go, do I eat these or not? Like, I've never smelt this in my entire life cooking food. I did not know this could be a smell.
Sounds terrible.
I don't even know what would cause this smell.
Listeners, would you
I mean,
like to weigh in?
if you've cooked food and it smelled like urine, other than maybe you marinated it in your own piss. I know there's some
Ugh.
people out there that's weird. It's sterile. I mean, even if someone had peed on the ribs, that would have cooked out. It still wouldn't have smelled like that, though, because, I mean, it smelled like you had just peed in a toilet. Like, it is the weirdest smell I've ever had in my life.
Gross.
Yeah.
Did you throw them out?
No, I ate one of them. Well, I was hungry, and I ate two. I ate the two that didn't smell like pee.
Yeah.
And
Throw out the ones that did?
Yeah. I hit a fatty pocket in one of the ones that smelled like pee, and it actually kind of tasted like it. And that's when I was like, is the fat in this causing this?
Gross.
Could that be a
I
thing?
have no idea.
I know it's weird, and one of those like odds. Yeah, no, this is a conversation you never expected to have today, right?
That sounds gross.
It was the most awful thing I have ever put in my mouth, and I put a lot of awful things in my mouth, but that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So when Ashley came home from work, you could smell it outside. So we thought maybe the sewer had backed out outside because we have a sewer smell. I don't know if you get this around your house occasionally, but there's a sewer smell that kind of populates the area sometimes. And I thought maybe it's just that, and it's just coming in the house. Nope. So yeah, Peeber hips.
No. Mm-mm.
So the town we live in where we record this show is doing tornado siren checks every Saturday now. Fuck that.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that.
So just Saturdays though. This is when they're doing it every Saturday at noon.
Which the town that you used to live in, where I used to work, they did them on Thursdays.
Yep, at noon.
At noon. And when I first started working there, I didn't know this. And I went to lunch and went to the mall to pick something up. And they went off. And I was unprepared. And I started looking around. And everyone else was casually going about their business. And I couldn't figure out why there was tornado sirens going off. No one was nervous about it. And it was very alarming.
So I'll give you this. So where I grew up, shout out to El Dorado Springs and a big fuck you. Where I grew up, every day at noon.
Every day?
Every day at noon. So if there was ever a tornado at noon,
there would be no one. Yeah.
You would know because they just sound them off at noon every day. I don't know if it was a test or just to be this has been part of the town's history forever. Let's continue the tradition, but they did it every day. And the reason that we talk about this is because we just had a tornado go through our town. Didn't do anything, but I think it tore up a few trees.
Yeah, well, and it was actually it was pretty awesome in the fact that we were able to see it very clearly on storm cams, and it was pretty impressive in that.
Yeah,
the
hospital camera they have for the television network, you could actually see it in the background.
Yeah, it was super
pretty cool.
Clear and impressive in that manner, and no one was injured, and it was pretty awesome in that way. I don't mean oh cool, awesome, but
Look, a tornado.
Yeah, but in a weather sense, it was really impressive and awesome in that.
And
that way.
everyone's outside standing out and looking at it because no one really takes tornadoes seriously.
Right. And we in this area of the country, we're relatively used to tornadoes.
I don't think as much as some of the other areas in this country. I'm going to be honest with you. After growing up in Tornado Alley and then moving here, it's just I think there's been 2 since I've been here compared to at least 4 a year.
It's actually quieting down a little bit. We haven't had any bad tornadoes. And probably the last one was probably in 2006. When Marmaduke was last destroyed, because I was in nursing school. But before that, we actually had them really regularly. And so a lot of the people who are native to this area are really not too terribly terrified of the weather.
Yeah.
We're just not, because it's something that we just kind of grew up with, and we're just oh, it's another tornado warning. But I still do take it pretty seriously.
You texted me we had a tornado warning in the winter.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
Sharon texted me, did you know there's a tornado warning? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
She's do you have your shoes on?
Yeah. I know, it's weird.
What the hell?
But there are things that I at least want to make sure that I am prepared of. I want to have my shoes on. I want to have my cell phone fully charged. I want to have my ID. It seems really stupid, but should there be an actual tornado, should my house be destroyed, I don't want to be walking in glass.
Walking on broken glass.
Because, I have had friends that actually were in situations where, their houses were destroyed and they weren't even minimally prepared, and it was horrific situations. So I want to have my kids together. I want to have them have clothes on, because sometimes things happen in the middle of the night and they're in their underwear, and so I wake them up, I make sure they have clothes on, make sure they have their shoes on, and most of the time it ends up being absolutely nothing, and that's fine. But I'm also not like some people that have moved to the area who are absolutely horrified and, take it to extremes. And so some of that's also kind of funny to me. But because, if you listen to our weather team, you should put on your helmet. You should take your pillows and your blankets and your mattress and, put them over your head. And some of that's a little funny to me. But I guess maybe if I was in a tornado, maybe it would make sense. But I don't know.
I've been through a couple, but never really did that.
Yeah.
There are times when our storm team, I think, overly goes too cautious.
Yeah.
I love them. I'm glad they exist.
I think they're a very good team.
But I miss the female weather reporter, though. I'm not going to lie. I miss her.
I don't know who you're talking about because we've had a lot over the years.
The last one. Her name was Rachel, I think.
Okay.
I do miss her because I'm like, I thought the three of them were really good. Now there's like four of them and it's just all guys. I'm like,
I like that our main one actually lives here in town. Because even though he works in...
There's an article about Ryan Vaughn on the website. We could actually name him by name because I said the weather deck wasn't real.
Yeah.
There's
even though he works in Jonesboro, he lives here in Paragould. And so like when we have bad weather here in Paragould, he really focuses on Paragould. And I'm like, that's because your family lives here.
But it's nice. It's kind of nice, yeah. So this month, guys, now let's get into why we're here. And this is kind of a special episode. Like I said, this is our anniversary episode for live. Well, technically not live, but when the podcast started. Because it was not called live then. It was called the Solitude of Nerdom Podcast, the dumbest name in the history of man. But there's a reason now. But before we get into that, we have to talk about the month of September, Sharon. And how crazy this month is. We have something going on almost every week, and not just us. You do as well, like in life.
Yeah.
Like things are nuts for you too.
I just got a message from Zeke's class that said,
"Oh no,
he's encouraged to dress up in Western clothes for pep rally on Friday." And if you know my child,
I was gonna say, does your child have anything Western?
He does not. He does not.
Oh, put him in California clothing.
No.
You said Western and just put him in surf gear.
But though it does say rope the Colts.
Is that the homecoming theme, or is that the theme for this?
I guess for this.
Rope the Colts.
Yeah.
I think
it's their first home game.
Well, I love high school football. I'm nowhere close to my alma mater. It's like 4.5 to 5 hours away from us. So now I'm sacrificed having to go to other high schools to watch football. At least there's good bands. Hey. But it's so weird for me to root for another school that I have no invested interest in or know nothing about.
Which, my son is going to mine and my husband's alma mater. That's where we went to high school. But our senior class was like the only class not to win like any of the spirit stuff. Like we had the most like blasé senior class. We were just kind of like there.
I think it's the first time the word blasé has ever been used on any show ever.
We were just, we didn't win the spirit stick, at the pep rallies
Woo!
and stuff. Yeah. We enjoyed our class, we enjoyed each other's company, but we didn't really care about any of the other stuff.
No one cares about this school crap. We're not going to be here in a year anyway.
Yeah. I remember at work, working with like other people from other schools, and when we were having like the big versus the other school here, the big game, the other school was talking about like all the stuff that was going on at their school, and I was just like, okay. And they were like, isn't that going on at your school? And I was like, no.
We don't care.
I was like, I don't really care who wins. They're like, but it's the big game of the year. And I was just like, I don't care if you win the bell or we win the bell. I don't care at all.
Your game was over a bell?
Yeah.
Or a belt?
Bell.
Okay, I thought you said belt at first.
No,
I'm like,
it's a,
no, that would have made
bell.
sense.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. That's cool.
Anyway.
But high school football is weird. Okay, now back to what we were doing. September is a huge month for us. We have a
Yeah.
ton of stuff going on. First up is StarCast, and if you listen to any of the other shows, we've talked about that ad nauseum. But I am going to talk about two things about this convention that is not wrestling related. Hey, number one, we are at a convention with the Insane Clown Posse.
That's unusual.
Sharon's like, I don't know what
That's
to say to
unusual.
that. Yeah. I feel like now you've made it when you're on the same list as like guest list as the Insane Clown Posse. Like, all right, I think we can't peak any higher.
They
Like,
do
I
have
feel
they
like
do have a rather large following.
I told somebody this a long time ago. If I were to ever get fans, like from a fan basis, that's the fan base I want because they are the most hardcore loyal fans
is true.
to anything.
This is true.
Like the government claims that they're a gang now.
Yes, they are on that list.
Which is fucked up to me, but because I mean, seriously, most juggalos are actually kind of friendly. I don't understand that. Most juggalos I've met are awesome. I don't understand Fago, but that's another argument for another day. You ever had a Fago?
No.
We got to change that. We might remedy that next episode. I might actually bring Fago back. But that's I didn't expect that, and I also didn't expect to be at a convention with Macaulay Culkin.
That's equally as weird.
No, we were at a convention with the Insane Clown Posse and Kevin from fucking Home Alone. What the effing... Or Stephen Amell. Let's throw that out there. Stephen Amell is going to be there as well. And Stephen Amell is actually wrestling on Saturday. And I went, this has to be where all of our worlds have collided at one spot. Like everything we've ever covered is colliding in Chicago on one day. Because, I mean, there's music. There's 3 concerts going on with this. There's, the nerd aspect. There's wine. Knocking Point Wines is going to be there. Now there's a cigar company selling cigars there. And I'm thinking, is this heaven? This is pretty close at this point for me. We're going to medieval times on Sunday. Ah! I sent you that.
Yes.
I got my birthday pass for that fucker.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Which means I get a free piece of cake and my name announced. I get 2
Are you
pieces
going to
of
get
cake.
knighted?
Yes. That's freaking happening this time. I'm also probably going to get shit-faced. I don't know why I said it like that, but whatever. I sounded like the little dude that pops out of the screen on Mortal Kombat. But yeah, that's happening. I mean, like everything's happening at this trip that I went, this is everything we do, but it's going to happen all in 4 days. I don't know if I'm prepared for this, Sharon.
It's going to be a busy, busy time.
And then the next week, you're going to be doing band stuff.
Yes. I think probably for the rest of the fall, possibly.
But, I mean, it's not like Sharon's going anywhere.
No,
But I am going to
I'm
say
still
that
gonna be
I
here.
feel like we need to do a segment on live where it's just Sharon's band trips.
Oh my gosh.
This one time on band trip. I think
Yeah.
that's exactly what we're going to call it.
Yeah.
And go with it.
Yeah, it's gone to where like some of my patients are band moms, and they'll be like, "So I saw you out at the band meeting." I'm like, "Yeah."
Are you part of a gang now?
It's starting to sound like it, maybe.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I think there's a t-shirt coming
be like,
from this.
Is your kid liking band? What instrument does he play? How's he doing out there? So he's still liking it? Are you gonna do it next year? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
What's your favorite note?
Are you gonna chaperone? Are you gonna work the concession stand? Has he got money in his account yet? How's he liking it? I don't know yet. It's so overwhelming. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm selling my soul for him to be in band.
Which
It's
I
very
really
overwhelming.
want you to let me know what events is going on because I would like to throw my hat into going to a few
Yeah.
of those because I never got to go to band trips because I was in band and then I quit, but I still know how to play the saxophone. But I've heard band trips are crazy.
Yeah.
So I want to experience that as an adult, I guess, and
Yeah.
go, hey, look, I'll chaperone anything if you put me on it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, I was told by a band mother that I must pass a background check to officially chaperone. I was like, I think I can probably do that. Like, I have an active nursing license, and I think I probably
You're on a
can.
podcast?
was
Fuck
like-
you.
I was like, I think I'm probably good.
As far as you know until they find out
I
you've
was
done
like-
this show.
I was like, I probably will pass.
So that's happening in Sharon's life. So that's every weekend almost coming up.
Yeah. I have a schedule.
So we've got something planned every weekend too. Let this sink in. So we're busy.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to add that segment to live. But one of the things we've got coming up on September 8th, we're going to be at Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. I'm sorry, our list is the website's list is kind of cooler than yours. Shannon.
It's okay.
And I'm sorry you can't go to half of this. Like, I'm sad. But we are going to Taylor Swift at Arrowhead Stadium, and my heart is happy.
On that day, Zeke will have a practice from 1 to 7 where I will learn at what point to cheer extremely loudly to cover up places that they are weak, to camouflage it at other competitions.
Obsessed much?
Yes.
That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
That's really messed up. Mm-hmm. That's a little hardcore.
It's an official on the agenda.
Well, we're not going to talk about that on this show anymore because I could go into great detail how I think that is just awkward.
I have a 4-page schedule.
Please email that to me. So that day and by the way, the concert starts at 7, so expect a ton of photos.
Okay.
And if I get backstage, expect a really fuck ton of photos.
Yep.
And then the next week, I figure there's a band thing. So
yes, there is. It's a competition.
It's on Saturday, isn't it?
It is.
So we are going to be at RuPaul's Drag Race Work the World Tour in St. Louis at the pageant on Friday night.
I think we'll be in Tennessee somewhere.
And then Saturday is SEMOCon. Making me work all these conventions by myself.
I know.
God dang it. I don't want to go by myself. SEMOCon happens on that weekend. Then the next weekend's Hot Springs. And then the weekend after that's nothing. So I'm kind of excited for that.
You can come to a competition with me that
I'm
Saturday.
fine. I'm fine. The 29th, if that's what happens, I'll go do it.
Yeah, I have a competition.
Where is it?
I have to look. I've got it on my phone.
I mean, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. That's my weekend off. At least I could go do something and actually watch and not have to write or talk about it on a show.
Let's see.
Not saying that I don't love doing that, but there comes a time where it's just way too much.
The last Saturday of September 29th is Bands of America Regional, Clarksville, Tennessee.
I go to Tennessee.
Yep.
Ashley works that weekend.
See, the 22nd, though, I have Union City Marching Invitational, Union City, Tennessee.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long drive.
October 13th, we're off.
I think we're in Kansas City covering, with the Dead South.
I actually have a Saturday off, though.
Hey!
That's like amazing.
I know there's a lot going on.
And in November,
Oh, my goodness.
all Saturdays look off.
Oh, because it's football season's come to an end, too. And so is competition season. Band competition season only lasts like 2 months. If I know this correctly, how many parades are you guys in?
Just one is scheduled, I think.
You'll be in the
That's-
Christmas parade.
Yeah.
No, all right.
Yeah, but it's on a Tuesday, so I've got to do a rearranging at work and beg someone to take
But
mine
it also
out.
starts at 7.
Yeah, but he has to be there at...
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like he could get
stupid
there.
times.
Well, yeah, but I feel like it's just after school and then they all go together. I don't know how that works. All right, let's talk about live.
Okay, yeah.
We-
Let's talk about real work.
We're talking about
Work.
bands. So one of the big questions you guys have always asked me is why did we change the name of the podcast from The Solitude of Nerdum to The Buzzkill Live and then TBK Live, and why did I change the website name? And I don't know if you even know this. I bought the domain of tbkmagazine.com in 2013 and never used it. I mean, it was on there. You could go to tbkmagazine.com and it would take you to the website. But there's a reason I chose that. When you're trying to propose an interview to somebody and going, hey, look, could I cover this on a website? Can I cover this and do press and all that? And you tell them you're from a website called the Buzzkill Magazine, it's an automatic no. And it's just, people are like, hey, we're not going to do that. We don't want you to make fun of us. Because that's exactly when I started, that's exactly what it was. I could tell you the first domain ever. It's tbzkill.blogspot.com.
Gotcha.
That still exists, by the way. Yeah. And that was one of those things, like, I thought the name was terrible after a while going, every time I heard it, I'd cringe. I don't know how to explain
It's
it.
like creating your first email and being like,
Yeah.
that was not a great idea.
Because my first email was odaddy73 at Hotmail. So no, that was terrible. But yeah, that was one of those things where I'm like, I have to change the name of this site to make it more presentable. And I feel like now I'm more prideful over it. Is now I don't feel ashamed about, but I know what the TBK stands for. I will always know that. But there's a reason it's that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that by chance?
Do I know what it stands?
No. Do you know why it was called the Buzzkill?
No.
My high school newspaper, that was my column, was the Entertainment Buzz. And the first time we ever did a year-end award show, I called it the Entertainment Buzzkills.
Gotcha.
There you go, everybody. Hey.
Nice.
So that's how the name started. So how did live begin is another question we get a lot. It actually started after Solitude and Nerdum podcast, which, by the way, if you've ever listened to episode 1, which does not exist, you cannot find episode 1 of the Solitude and Nerdum podcast. And if you have it, fuck you. So I don't know. You kind of picked up like probably around episode 40, 50.
Probably. That sounds about right.
When we started it, it sounded like it was being recorded in a can.
Sounds wonderful.
We had those, the computer mics that you just set up and you actually just attach and
Yeah.
it sounds real. That's what we recorded the shows on in 2013. And it was so bad. It sounded so god awful. So bad. I don't know how. It really did sound like the worst piece of shit you've ever had. Like, I mean, it is the worst sounding episode of any show ever. And we've had some bad, like even the Winos episode that fucking
Oh my gosh.
skips.
Yeah.
That sounds like a bad rap album. Even that sounds
That
better
was a bad episode.
than the first episode of the Solitude and Murder podcast. And I have found the open for it. I have found the open. And I found episode 10. I don't know how that's on there. Somewhere on the internet, episode 10 exists. That show went to shit. And I thought, it's time to do something that a lot of people would be like, okay, this makes more sense for the website. Because that really didn't. And the name was based on something I don't want to discuss right now. So we've changed it to the Buzzkill Live, and it stuck. And that change happened in 2014? 13? Like late 2013? Somewhere around in there. So yeah, like I said, when this show's had growing pains, I honest to God mean it.
Gotcha.
Because you came in your first episode was episode 61, part B. Don't ask me why.
Yeah.
I know. Don't ask me why I know that. But you've been on almost every episode since.
There's been a few, but yeah.
No, I mean that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a couple where we've had other
interviews
people.
and such
Rob.
like that. But I mean, almost every episode since then, you have been the person on the show. So, here's one for you that we get a lot, which I know you can't answer these, but you might actually know more about this. What are the inspiration for some of the stupid characters you do? You're like, yeah, I kind of want to know that myself, right? So Charlie comes from a skit that I wrote a long time ago called The Continuing Adventures of Lubricant Man and Sphincter Boy.
Oh, good grief.
It was about sexual crime fighters.
Oh, gosh.
And Charlie was one of the Kotex kids. Yep. Sphincter Boy.
Oh, gosh.
Sphincter Boy was a talking ass with lips. Well, are you all right? Did you not know that?
No, I did not.
Now you do. And knowing's half the battle. Yo, Joe. How do you are you okay with this knowledge now?
I don't have a choice in it.
Well, you do. I mean, we could have a staff meeting where you're like, I ain't doing this anymore.
It wouldn't do any good.
You're right, but I mean, it's worth a shot. I mean, if enough people complained, I probably wouldn't do it. Stick Figure Dan started on a game of strip poker at a high school choir tournament. So we wanted to play poker, and then it got brought up, let's play strip poker, and because, we're teens.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, well, we can't really undress, so let's do stick figures and clothes.
Good.
And that's how Stick Figure Dan got started, because I become this foul mouth trash talking son of a bitch and just was mean to everybody, but I won. So that's all that matters. I got a lot of stick figures naked that day, and that's how that worked out. Dr. Science is based on... Have you been part of a Dr. Science sketch yet?
Mm-mm.
That needs to happen. That needs to happen. That's a character that I get requests on a lot. Have you heard that one?
No.
Oh, Dr. Science is based on my high school chemistry teacher, who actually talked like, "Hi guys, welcome to chemistry class." That was his voice, but he worked for NASA.
That's
We
pretty
thought he was
awesome.
a secret agent that would kill you.
Okay, never know.
Why is he working in a town of 3,000 people when you worked at NASA at a high school? He works for the government still. He's a secret agent. He's going to take someone out. I'm pretty sure about that. Big Dick Thick and Timmy. So when I was doing improv, we would come up with these stupid games, and that's how Where's Timmy's Penis started. Was one night during our no rules night, which means you could curse while doing improv. I came up with this entire stupid game. And ever since that day, I don't know why, and no one's explained it to me other than it's funny, of why that game has stuck.
You know, if we had a choice.
Oh,
we'd
you
not
guys wouldn't
using
fucking play it
people.
at all. That is your guys' least favorite game.
Yeah, it's pretty high up there.
We haven't done that game in over a year. You know that, right?
It has been a little bit.
Yeah, it's coming. But I'm not telling you when. Well, I mean, I'll tell you when, but I won't. I'll give you enough. No, I
You won't give us any more warning.
Yeah, no, I won't give you enough warning than that. Awkward Batman started by a few friends were playing the Arkham Asylum games, and I just started rolling commentating as Batman from the Christian Bale movies. There's only one way. I mean, that makes sense. It was just like when Batman died, it's like, oh shit. Just stuff like that constantly. I was like, that's a bit. That has to happen. Is that everything? Stephen Hawking reading Craigslist is no longer going to happen. I don't think I can make fun of Stephen now. Which great that I didn't end, but I just thought it was funny hearing the robotic voice read Craigslist ads. Because the "Do you want pizza pits?" You can't go back from that. That's the best one. Like, is there any other characters that I do?
Not any I can think of at the moment.
No, and I mean that's where they all come from. I know that's something that you guys have asked a lot of, like how these characters come about, and what was the genesis of some of them. Even I still don't know. Timmy just happened. That whole thing is one that actually just happened on the spot. Everything else has been plotted out. Charlie though. So when I was doing Charlie's voice for the first time, I actually lost my voice
I can see that.
for about 3 days because I was recording a CD, which is no longer on the internet, thank the good Lord. But I recorded a CD, and the Continuing Adventures of Lubricant Man and Sphincter Boy are on that, and it's about 15 minutes long, and I do every voice in it. Did you ever listen to Adam Sandler's comedy CDs in the day at all?
No.
Well, this is pointless. It sounds like an Adam Sandler comedy CD if anyone has ever heard those. I forget, Sharon, you're weird. And I say
Thank
that with
you.
the utmost love.
Thank you.
When will Sharon have her own characters and bits? That is something that gets asked a lot.
I don't know that I will.
It might happen. I have been trying to figure out bits and characters for you constantly.
We did talk about the McDonald lady.
Yeah.
we actually have had here in Paragould.
Well, that was one of those things
Kinda
where I was
funny.
like, can I take, is it the one that went, may I take your order? Like that
Yeah.
one.
May I take your order?
So
Thank you.
you, I think you could do it.
I don't know. We'll see.
You did. Well, I mean, in general, though, I think you can do it. Sharon and I have been talking about an idea for the last 2 weeks of doing our first video show.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And do you want to talk about that?
We can.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of one of the things that Sharon came up with. Sharon's actually in charge of our Halloween this year. And we talked about that a little bit on our show, but you're actually 100% in charge of Halloween.
So if it turns out terrible,
She is
it
now
will be me.
for that week only. She is not the assistant to the editor. She is editor, and she's going to tell me what to write. Thank you. So
That's how I feel about dinner.
yeah, yeah.
Someone just tell me what to do.
But one of the things she came up with was like, we should do a how-to series, and I went, that's just cold. But I don't know who's going to be co-hosting that with you yet.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
there are options
Exactly.
here.
Yeah.
There are a ton of options, and one of them is bringing Rebecca to video
Right.
and being your You're on one side of the spectrum, and she will be on the complete other side of the spectrum,
Right.
which I think will be freaking hilarious if we do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that we could do this against everybody and make everyone feel uncomfortable, so it works perfectly.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you the ideas we have. We just want to tell you that that's a possibility, and we've discussed it. And that might actually go on throughout all holidays.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we have a run of Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. And I don't think you hate Thanksgiving.
No, I'm kind of neutral about it.
Food.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of neutral.
We didn't do a Friendsgiving this year. So that's like that's one of the things we discussed. But yeah, Sharon doing character, I know it'll happen eventually. You have your own bit. You have one. You have Hello Nurse.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first one that I created around you specifically. And I remember that episode because that was actually about a year ago to the day.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a know-it-all. We could do something like that.
Oh, God.
I really am.
Oh.
Just in certain situations, though.
Like you'll just throw out information and be like,
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah, I can't help it. It just happens.
I was going to make a mean joke. I'll refrain.
It's fine. I don't care.
It's because you were homeschooled. I'll go ahead and say it. Let's just go ahead and go with that. Another one we get is how do we determine how to do interviews? And how do we determine who we're going to interview? If you email us, I'll probably do.
Yeah. I think some of it is simply just availability.
Yeah, no.
If you'll talk to us, we will talk to you. You know,
I get nervous about asking people for interviews. Not because of the rejection, because I got rejected a lot. That's
Yeah.
not the issue. The issue is I know that they're busy.
yeah.
And I don't want to be like, hey, take an hour out of your time to talk to me.
And part of it's too, we want to talk to people that we really admire. That do work that we love. You know, we've been really lucky. We've got to talk to writers, to publishers, to
Comic book artist,
to
Brian O'Halloran.
yeah. You know, we've just been really, really lucky to get to talk to a variety of people that do a lot of things that we love.
And like in the next couple of weeks, and I mean, we talked about this, like we've got interviews coming this weekend. We don't know who with, but a lot of them are nerd out. So that's something we can talk about. But also in the next weeks, we're doing RuPaul's Drag Race. The contestants from RuPaul's Drag Race season 10, they're going to be on the show. And that baffles me.
Yeah. It's just amazing that we get to do these things. And, you know, if there's people out there that would be interested in talking to us, let us know.
If you have, and honestly, here's the thing, too, with interviews, I don't care if you're a celebrity or not, because I feel like everyone has a story. I actually discovered someone, we go to Cape a lot, and I met someone at Cape this week because, one, I had on a shirt that advertised what I did. And because wearing those now are just... Have you worn your wino shirt and ever got a conversation started on it?
I have, yeah.
Is that not the craziest thing in the world? So that happened while we were at Cape, and then I learned this kid's story about how he got bullied so much that he's now part of this awareness group to prevent suicide. And I went, that's a story.
Yeah.
I would love just for you to talk about that in my head. I'm like, that's fantastic. So stuff like that.
We've met some really awesome people at conventions, whether they're, Jesse and I talked to one girl who like secretly rates conventions and makes really awesome cosplay. And you know, now Jesse follows her on, I think on Twitter. So she was great. We've met people that make custom steampunk weaponry and hats and stuff. Their company's Evil Laboratories, and now anytime I see them at conventions, like that's absolutely wonderful to me.
Yeah, we get excited about seeing people we know now.
Yes, and you know, we've made these contacts, and you know, they just start off as everyday normal people, and they become really special to us, and we love talking to them. So even if you don't feel that you have anything really special to offer up, that's not true. We just love talking to everyday normal people. So
I think eventually one of the segments I've been considering for about a year is just having a fan segment where a fan just calls in and we just talk to them.
Yeah.
And I think that would be something that would be fun for us. By the way, we've never recorded a show like this, have we?
No.
This is a completely different thing because I feel like this is one of those shows that you're never going to get again.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things. Like, I love talking. I love meeting all these people because, and especially conventions. When we started covering cons, one of the things I got in email was, "This is a bad idea." At the beginning stages. Now, this is before you showed up, and now it's become one of the things. Like when we go to con, like everyone expects us to talk about cosplay now. Everyone expects us to talk about something dumb that happens because we always have a dumb story from a convention. It's either I called my mother-in-law derpy hooves, or
Or I spilled my cheesecake on the bed.
which has now become this gag of you killing people. And someone sent in after that episode if you could come cover up a murder scene for them.
Maybe.
I was like, that's great. That's
Possible.
awesome. That's awesome. But it's stuff like that where now we've got a handheld mic.
Yeah.
Which now we can do a lot more, and we're going to add video. That is something else for this show that I think within the next, I'm not going to say year, because I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work, but I'll say probably within the next year and a half, probably between now and this time at Christmas next year. The idea is to record the podcast too.
Yeah, we are really hopeful to be able to add a lot of different videos.
I'm trying to lose
want to
weight.
be moving.
That's one of the big things. I'm trying to lose
Goodness.
weight.
We really want to be adding a lot of different types of video to the site. That's our goal, and we have a lot of different ideas. It's just working and moving to that direction.
And money.
Yeah, and we talk in life. We talk about that a lot, and it sounds a lot of times like it's an excuse. It sounds like that to ourselves, and we don't mean to be that way, but life does get in the way because, this isn't all of our primary jobs.
Yeah, the only person that's primary is me.
Yeah, but it's our passion. It's very important to us, but we do have other things that we have to do. Ashley and I are both nurses, and we have our families.
Tiffany's a teacher.
Right.
Hannah's going to get her master's degree. Which, I mean, hey, by the way, we're going to see more of Hannah coming soon. I just want everyone to know that. I know we talk about, but there's a reason.
Right.
Amanda, I don't know what she does for a day job, but I know she has one, and she's constantly busy. Kevin just had a baby, or Brody just had a baby. I use his real name, sorry. Brody just had a baby. I mean, his life is completely changed because once you have a child, it's just completely.
Kids are they're so difficult.
Amy just had her second baby within 3 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I mean, and Jim does newspaper work, and Ed's now writing for the site. Did you know that?
I didn't.
He put up a poem.
Aw.
And he just sent me a rant article that goes up this week while we're in Chicago.
He sent me an email this week.
I bet that's what it is.
He sent me something else.
But I know what it is. But yeah, no, that's one of those things where like everyone has so much going on.
But this magazine and the site is incredibly important to us.
That's why you see a lot of articles from me.
Yeah, it's incredibly important to us, and we will continue to come back, and we have so many things that we want to do.
And eventually, hopefully, this leads to one of you guys being this is your full time.
Yeah.
That's the plan, because I know who my first choice is. No offense to my wife. But if I had the choice to pay someone 100%, it's going to be you.
And it is something that I want to do. I want to be able to dedicate more time. I want to be able to sit down and write more articles because I've got a whole bunch that I've started. But, when
you have problems finishing?
Well, when I come home and, I've got to pick up my kid from band practice here. I've got to fill out these paperwork for school, or I've got, I don't get home from work until 7 because I've got to do late night work. And, it takes away from my abilities to be able to sit down and concentrate on this.
That's why we had a lot more podcasts go up recently.
Yeah.
But that also because you're busy and we've been busy planning out StarCast. It's funny we bring this up because I've never been as busy as I am right now.
Yeah.
And we put together a con in the last month.
Yeah.
And I'm still never as busy as I am right now.
Right.
And I'm sad that we haven't got as many written articles up.
Yes.
But part of that is because, you have no time, especially when you're planning for something. So that will change. I
definitely feel that I'm writing less, and I hate that. But I'm at a point with my kids that they are older. And I feel like time's getting away from me with them. My oldest son is now in high school, and he's definitely more involved in things than he ever has been. And then my younger son starts middle school this year.
We should just start recording shows on the road now. We have the microphone to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so, I'm having to definitely make a decision in that I'm going to do whatever I can to be available for my kids So I'm having to kind of work on balance. And so that's been different. But podcast is something I definitely,
It's easier to
Yeah.
do sometimes, and that's
and
one
I
of those
love doing.
But one of those things I know coming up, and I know articles are going to still flow. I'm trying to do news. I mean, I just broke yesterday that Matt Smith part of Star Wars, and that's fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited about that.
So, so how did we ever say how we determine the interviews? If you email us, we'll probably do it.
Yeah, basically we'll talk to
About
just about
90%
anyone.
of 90% of the time, we're probably going to say yes. The only
Yeah.
10% we're not is if you tell me, like, let's talk about my prison life.
Yeah.
And you went to prison for like a horrible crime. That's probably not happening.
Yeah.
But outside that, no, we love doing interviews, and then we that is something I'm going to work on over the next year, because after seeing the response just in the last 24 hours, I've got to get a more variety of interviews, and that's the plan. And I've already got one planned for the wrestling show, because it's easy right now just to do that one for interviews, because we're around like 2,000 wrestlers over the next
Yeah.
few days. But one of them is Marco Stunt, and if look him up, the dude's like 4'10". It is the small guy from the show who's now the biggest name in the world.
I know there's some authors that we're rather close to that I would like to
Yeah.
talk to. That's something that
Sharon will conduct some interviews on
Yeah.
her own, and it
Yeah.
will not just be me, because I know you can do it.
there's definitely some people that I have in the back of my mind that I want to talk to. So,
You ready for this one?
yep.
Why did I hate you in the beginning of our friendship?
That's a good question.
Is this what I get? Because I think the story was told on the Winos,
Probably.
where I did. Apparently, I guess I said, "You're all right."
Yeah.
I eat.
Yeah. that was basically it. She's okay.
I eat. Blah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. At that point.
Indifferent, maybe.
Indifference. Well, okay. One, I'm already awkward enough because my first time meeting you was going with my future wife to a doctor's appointment.
I think, well, not even though. Like the first time you met me at a party, it really was. You met me first at the party.
Okay, so I
Like
was.
at the first time, I thought we were fine because we met at a party.
Oh, the first Halloween party we
Yes.
went to, but we were only there for like 30 minutes. I knew nobody.
Yeah, and then we met. We met at an appointment because I'm a nurse,
And that is awkward.
Yeah,
I don't-
and I think you were kind of put on the spot by your now mother-in-law. I think she expected you to love me.
that actually wasn't what happened. Well, that did happen, but when you're around, okay, so for any, I'm going to get really gross here. Like Ashley's in a stirrup, and it's just kind of like the first thing I get, like my first real interaction with you, other than a party, because I don't remember it that well. And it was 45 minutes because we picked up my future mother-in-law with after having knee surgery because she couldn't do anything. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Was this the one that you tried to match me for drinking?
No, that was
was
Christmas.
later. That was later.
That's when actually the friendship really got
Gotcha.
started. Because this might have been like 2 weeks later. I mean, this was
Yeah.
within me. I know I was going to propose at this point, but I know I hadn't done it yet. So she asked me if I liked you, but also Ashley's former doctor also was like, "Yeah, what do you think of my staff?" And I'm like, "I'm just here. I hate being in I feel so awkward in a doctor's office. Like
Yeah.
my blood pressure goes up to 1,000. Like, it's just awkward." And in that case, I was even more awkward.
Yeah.
As this is the first time I've
Well,
ever been
and
in a women's clinic with
Yeah.
a girl. So
Yeah.
I know that's dumb to say, but I mean, this was my first
Yeah.
time at
Well, it's always kind of an awkward appointment for anyone.
yeah. So
Women
like
don't want
knowing
going
if I
anyway.
liked you at that point was just like, this is weird.
Yeah. No, it wasn't supposed to be kind of like a loaded question anyway. It was more of, I guess, is my staff nice? Are they making me feel comfortable?
Yeah.
You know? And then I really do feel that probably your mother-in-law was, I do think, it was, do you like my friend as much as I like my friend?
Well, and then it got brought up that you like nerd stuff. And
Yeah, I think there was probably a lot of pressure in it.
well, no, it was if I can go to a con, can I bring a friend? And that's actually when I added you on Facebook, which is the same day I got married, like 2 years in the past.
No.
Yeah, it's November 18th. Our friend anniversary is November 18th.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So I was like, well, that's
Yes.
funny.
That's
really
It did end
funny.
up being really funny. Yeah.
But so when that happened, and then I tried to match you drink for drink, and I was like,
Yeah.
I like this person.
Yeah.
This is my people. And
Yeah.
then I got so drunk that I actually thought I didn't talk, but I was singing the whole way.
Yeah. And then, when we ended up going, on the convention.
Dallas.
That's when like our friendship really, really just
Okay,
kind
so-
of flourished. And then when we come back,
You want a funny story about that?
yes.
I didn't know that. Okay, so one, I thought you weren't going to open up the entire trip because at the beginning of the trip, you were kind of reserved
Yeah.
to let everyone know. Like even,
just-
and you
that's
guys
just
got
me.
overwhelmed the first day of con. That's a given.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm not going to lie to you. Like about 3/4 of the way through the day, when we go back to the hotel room, and it's like, what are we going to do for dinner tonight? And I'm like, I looked up stuff, and then it's medieval times. Everything changed. You can't deny. Like everybody was just so loose at that point. Like this is the greatest trip ever.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Until we bought those fucking mystery boxes.
I think that first night down there, though, I got you your cow.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was like the first night.
Yeah, because we were trying to. You're trying to get me to sing the Moo Cow song.
Yes,
which
and
will
you did not.
Which will eventually happen on
It's
a road
been
trip.
like 2 years
yeah.
now, and you still not saying.
By the way,
the Moo
the
Cow
cow
song.
is behind you.
I know. I saw it up there. It's been there for a long
I
time.
haven't named the cow yet.
Yeah, because I forgot like my toothpaste and my toothbrush
We had to go
and my
downstairs.
deodorant. And I had to go down to like the little hotel gift store, and it was like $8 for like each thing. And I'm like, well, I gotta have these things. So, yeah,
It's weird to do that, by the way, on your first trip. Like, we didn't know what was going on.
yeah, but it ended up being a really, really good trip. And on the way back, Ashley was tired, and we were afraid we were gonna die
And we all talked all night.
very loudly to stay awake.
Except for my future mother, or except for my mother-in-law,
she
who was
went
just
to
asleep.
Yeah.
And the three of us.
And then you asked me, can you ride? And I was like, yes, I am capable of riding.
Yeah, you went into that dick
It-
mode. Like,
it
I
is
can!
It is a skill that I possess.
And that's how that started. So, and then ever since then, and that's funny because we recorded that first episode in the hotel room after we went to medieval times.
Yeah.
I'm fucking lit. I know I'm drunk for that episode.
And I was so tired, and I'm like, with wet hair in my pajamas, like,
Yeah, and we're doing Where's Timmy's Penis?
yeah. I was like, I did not sign up for this.
And then talking about scantily clad poison ivies.
Yeah.
If you want to go back and listen to that shit show, 61 part 2 or part B.
Yeah, that's where that one happened.
So, and then technically it all just kind of followed together. And
Yeah.
I'm going to say something that a lot of people don't know. My former co-host, I'm not going to name names because fuck him. My former co-host and I had a falling out. And for anybody who does not know that, I don't believe he cared about you guys. And I still say that to this day. But we had a falling out. And you were there. And honestly, you have become my best friend in the entire world. And I am now kind of emotional, but you've become my best friend. And they're outside my wife. But and I put that in quotes. But I don't know why. But honestly,
She's
thanks.
my quote unquote wife.
Yeah.
That's a weird one.
She's my wife. She's my beard.
That's a weird place to put quotes.
Yeah, no, I told people one day she was my beard, and she started laughing so fucking hard. Like, I don't remember, because I don't remember where we were at, but I wanted to make people feel really uncomfortable. Like, it was one of those situations where, like, I don't like these people I'm around.
Yeah.
Like, no, she's my beard. What? Like, no, you know what I'm talking about. No?
Was it in Walnut Ridge?
Maybe. Yeah. Roxy, yeah.
Yeah.
We've done some crazy stuff as friends. Like, it's nuts. It has been nuts.
It just kind of it started right there really so quickly, and then it's just like I never went away. Like it just.
And look, next week
it
we went to
continued-
Little Rock.
Yeah, it just continued so quickly and so naturally. And while it's only been 2 years, it almost seems like it's just been a lifetime. And
Or 3 minutes.
yeah,
I also thought that too.
That too. And, it went from being like, we didn't know each other to now I'm telling my oldest son, like, hey, if you ever need anyone to reach out to, call Richard. You can talk to him about anything, like.
And he will not judge you for crap.
Yeah, it's been, to where I didn't know you to you're a part of my family. And it's been wonderful.
Oh, I always tell people now, like, do you have family? And I'm like, here, my mother lives here and my sister.
Yeah.
And they're like, eh? Like, no, I actually have a sister and I'm pretty proud of that.
I mean,
and then
we didn't know each other, and now my sister goes and gets your dog when there's a possible tornado
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the middle of the night and takes her to my house and puts her in the tornado safe
while
place.
drinking wine. And
Yeah,
I just
like,
I
it's just-
think it's a poker playing.
Yeah, in the bathtub with my dogs and your dog. It's just like crazy
Tried adding your
insanity
sister on
and
Facebook
perfect.
and never got the friend
I don't.
request accepted.
I don't think she goes on there very much.
Well,
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
yeah.
I think that was right after that. Even.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like she doesn't know who you are. She's come over here and she's so quiet and shy,
I know.
and and she's come over here and played Cards Against Humanity with us.
So yeah, that's kind of what happened to our friendship. Like there was no hate. It was
No.
just an awkward, like, this is probably not the place to talk about this.
Yeah, it was just a.
But trying to keep up with you drink for drink at Christmas was the worst idea I've ever had. But I'd make that challenge again at some point. We will attempt this again. 'Cause, I mean, you threw my bachelor party for
I was gonna say, I think that's probably the weirdest thing was that we went from barely knowing each other to I'm gonna throw a bachelor party for this person I barely know, and we are
killed
going
it.
and we are going to go. I'm gonna drive these people out of town and stay the night with them. And Jesse was like, okay, like there was no question about it. It was okay.
And it was awesome.
Yeah, we had a really good time.
So what is your best and worst parts of recording shows? I know what your worst part is. I think we've discussed it. It's where's Timmy's penis. Do we have to go any further than that?
Yeah, I mean that's sometimes kind of weird.
The games are. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite parts is putting those together, though.
That's a lot of fun. I don't know that there's a really worse part. I think maybe
Getting
just
up early of a morning.
yeah, or like trying to record when I have a migraine.
Yeah, that sucks.
That
really sucks.
but I do it because I love it. Like it really isn't any inconvenience or like it's not an obligation.
It's just one of those things. Like we do this because we enjoy it. Number one, we entertain ourselves. Number two, and then we know if we entertain ourselves, then hopefully you're being entertained. That's kind of
Like I wish you guys could see us like before we record.
it's
like,
that. It's just like fuck.
We sit here for like 30 minutes talking, and then I'm like, oh, we probably should have just said all of this like while we're recording. Like it's almost the exact same stuff. It's completely relevant to
Which we shouldn't do. Like we should just come in and just start recording because you should have told the bean chip story for the show.
yeah.
And
So I mean, it's not like it's any problem or obligation. It's just sometimes we record when we're really tired or when we don't feel good.
you know what the worst time to record is when you're hungry.
It's true too.
And
Yeah.
I do that a lot.
Yeah. And
'Cause-
so
especially at night.
yeah, sometimes it's like 10:30 at night when we finish, or
Have we
it's-
actually recorded that late in a long time though?
No, it's been a little while. Or it's, like 8:30 in the morning when we start, or I've just
Have you ever watched The Office at 8:30 in the morning? That'll change
Yeah.
your life.
or I've just had like a strong narcotic injection for a migraine, and I'm sitting here like half
Cinecrap
asleep.
Cinecrap
Yeah.
episode 1. Like I know at one point, this is fun.
Like I
story.
was half asleep, like I was
no,
dozing off.
like you could actually, if I wish if it was on video, you could actually see you fall asleep.
Yeah.
and then
You said something. And
I
I'm
said
like,
something as loud as I possibly could. Like I said it away from the mic. Like
I'm glad.
Oh my god, what's happening here? And
I
you're like,
like-
what?
yeah, I'm glad. So, but it's not a terrible. What's the worst part? We really do love what we do.
I can tell you what the best part of putting this show together is now it's a lot easier for me than it used to be, because it used to take me for, I think, and I'm not saying anything here because I've gone through like 6 co-hosts before I found you, or at least 4, and there was reasons, because it was just like life happens.
Yeah.
And but the thing that I've learned now is it takes less than 6 hours to put together a show, which is the most amazing thing in the world for me, which I probably should take a lot more time to put shows together, because Cinecrap only takes me like 10 minutes.
I love that we have a stable recording place now.
Hey, 'cause
Yeah.
that happened. 2016 was a rough year at the end.
We would have to sometimes like rent a room at the community center. It's really nice not to have to do that anymore.
Yeah, it's nice to actually have an entire room devoted to
Yeah.
yeah.
That's really great. I can say that my favorite show to record currently is
Are you still watching?
yes, I love to be able to just come over and like watch a show that I love.
Which, I mean, that's going to continue. I think our second show might be Glow.
Yeah, so much favorite.
That's one of those things where I'm like, I've enjoyed recording that show. I've enjoyed recording Cinecrap. I didn't expect I would. Like, I mean, I thought I
Yeah.
would enjoy it, but I didn't expect it would be so easy to record. And then I'm like, this and Are You Still Watching are the 2 easiest shows to record. And then the third one for me is when you guys do the winos, and I don't have to do crap. So
You just sat there.
like, I'll just try and chime in and say the wine's good or bad. That's pretty much my job on that
Yeah.
show. It's awesome.
look up stuff for us when we need like someone to
I'm
dispute what we're saying.
Yeah, I'm definitely that producer on that show. What has been your favorite and worst episode to record or listen? Listening's episode 61. Go back. It's pretty bad.
I
'Cause we
know.
listened to that on the way home.
Yeah, I know we hated Wino's number 2. That's when we were absolutely...
Well, I was going to say the worst. I actually like that one more than the 90s show.
Ugh,
I think
no.
the worst episode we've ever recorded is the night, which I think this year.
They were both recorded the same night.
Yeah. And the 90s show had a lot more, like, it just became a karaoke party.
Yeah.
Which is something you guys enjoyed, but recording it was a pain in the ass.
You know, and there was things from the Wino show that we carried over. Like, that's where we started using, like, what became Vipon. You know, we looked at the weird chastity device on there. But going back and listening to it, like, I think every single one of us were embarrassed about, which, I mean, I don't think I said anything that was too horrific, but like, we were all rather intoxicated and there was multiple verbal hashtags used. And
that was the episode that it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was just pretty terrible. So I think, at least in the Wino's history,
Which
was
is
the worst.
weird because that's a fun episode to listen to, but it's more fun than that 90s show was.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least to me. That
Well,
one's been one of the hardest.
There was a lot of people involved in the 90s episode. And
it was way too many.
Yeah, I think anytime you get a whole lot of people, there's people talking over each other and there's a lot less...
Chemistry?
Yeah.
I hate doing 3 people on a show. That's something no one knows except, like, I think you and Ashley. And I'm like, I hate days when we're doing 3s.
I think you have to have people that work really well together to be able to do that.
And when it's 4, so when it's even numbers, it's a lot easier to do. Because when you have 4 people, one person can take complete control. And then it's just, and that's so much easier. But for some reason, with 3 people, there is that dynamic where someone's getting talked over.
I think there's a couple of times it works okay on Fangirls.
Yeah, no, that show, it does work. Because I think you guys take control well enough.
But you're right. Sometimes it just completely doesn't work, and it really has to depend on the people that does it. It has to be a really well thought out panel.
Because anytime and then you can go back and listen to the 3 team episodes before you came, and you can hear how bad they are. And I will guarantee you will be like, "What the hell is this shit?"
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty rough. Favorite. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if you know this. My favorite ones to record and put together is the Spooktacular shows.
Aw.
I love those because every year we do something dumb. And like this last year, if you listen to the whole show, it's like the killer thing all over again. And I love that. And I know this year's plan. I'm not telling anybody until like we get closer, but I know the plan this year. And like that and some of the Christmas shows are like I plan in so far in advance because those are my favorite shows to do. And Kat's now trying to take the mic.
I love our Christmas episodes from last year, and
because we did one with everybody last year. That was fun.
And I love our Christmas episode for Live the year before, where we try Glog.
My favorite Christmas episode.
That was a really good one.
My favorite Christmas episode is the one we recorded after the Winos episode, where we watched Rudolph and Frosty, because that was the most fun I think any of the Christmas episodes have ever been.
I think the Winos episode that I love, but it's also the hardest for me, is the last episode that we had Nicole on. I think that's probably the most real episode of the Winos that we had.
I think it's one of the most real episodes of any show we've had.
Yeah. And I miss her terribly. I still don't get to see her very often, and she's still dealing with a lot of stuff in her life, so we don't get to talk very much. But Nicole is someone that I love very, very much, and I think that episode, people get to see a really good representation of mine and her relationship, and I love that episode very much.
I found that picture of you guys taken in front of the banner too, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like,
with our shirts.
Oh, yeah.
We should have been standing in like flipped order, like the little sayings are backwards.
Out of the other shows, I'm not going to lie to you. Out of the other shows, I have found it a lot more fun to record Are You Still Watching? Because I'm like, hey, I get to watch The Office and discuss it. Because those shows like that, and
it's a good morning show because we don't really have to do any prep or think about it.
No, and Cinecrap's really easy to record, and I think those are like every time I've recorded an episode of Cinecrap, I look back on it going, "This is the best thing I've done." Like this week, I'm like, "This was awesome!" Like this week's episode of Cinecrap where we did Ready to Rumble, which by the way is a terrible movie, but we did Ready to Rumble with David Arquette because David Arquette's going to be at StarCast, and I was like, "Yeah, I forgot about that one," and I watched it with Brody. And it's hard to watch movies online, like when you're doing a phone call with it. But me and him were synced so well, if you turned it up, you could hear us you could hear the movie at the same time.
That's cool.
But it worked out perfectly because we rambled. Like that's what that show is. It's just rambling. But Winos, my favorite episode of the Winos, it's probably the one with it, like the favorite and hardest, or the hardest one is that one because that one, and I still love 73 of this show. Because of what's in the box. Because I didn't think she'd ever get
crazy.
that. And she
Who
did.
does his boobs?
And we said,
That's so weird.
you were like, it's a box of books. She's like, it's tits.
It's so weird.
And she got it. I also like the one where Katie does my eyebrows. Which is funny as shit.
Yeah.
Because that hurt.
Katie.
And there's and then but yeah, no, those are some of my favorites. Like I don't go back and listen to any episode very often.
I used to listen to him all the time.
Because you weren't on them.
Yeah, and even in the beginning when I first started recording, I'm like, I'm going to listen to him and see how he did. And now I just don't.
I have to edit the shows, and eventually I'll listen. Like if I'm not on it as much, I'm like, yes, I can listen to this one. Because like when you guys do Winos or Fangirls, I'm like, I can listen to a show.
Yeah, I don't listen to him anymore.
Sad, right?
Yeah.
What are some of your what are the biggest goals you have for this show? I mean, we technically have talked about this occasionally. Like we never really, I mean, the video. I mean, I think that's one of the things now. It's a medium, and we need to attack that medium because we haven't yet.
Yeah.
Part of that's because I feel like I'm insecure with myself. This is something a lot of people don't know. I don't feel like I'm video worthy. Like I have the face and body for radio.
Oh, no. You'll be fine. To me, I think the thing that's, at least for me, is holding me back is it's just time.
No one wants to get makeup done at 6 a.m.
Yeah, it's just time. And of course, we have to have equipment and everything like that, and money. Honestly, it takes money. But our goal is for this to be like a multimedia type company. We want to have something that's similar model to something like that Nerdist has become.
Geek and Sundry, even. Like I love Geek and Sundry so much. Like there's so many great sites like that where I wanted, like it should become that, and we have the writing ability to churn out like some of the best stuff.
We work with so many great people. We have great writers. We have we have so many great people on staff, and we want to be able to feature all of the things that they do in so many different ways.
Yeah, in just different aspects where you see people in different lights, and that's the most fun you can have.
Yeah, and so to be able to do that accurately, you know, we want to be able to offer it in more forms, and so that's our goal, is to move forward from what we are able to offer.
I'm not gonna lie, Winos Live will be fucking hilarious.
I think that would be great, and I think Fangirls also will be.
You want to talk about the show where the hosts have the most fun? Yeah,
I think that would be awesome.
It's Fangirl. I'm just gonna say that it's Fangirls. Like you guys have a blast on Fangirls. Like there's like any show. Like this show is probably the one that I feel everybody will watch more. But I also know that show's really fun to watch recording in my perspective. So I know that you guys will enjoy that too.
You know, when we were able to do live panel at Kansas City, that was really great.
I looked good on that panel.
It was so much fun. But
had to do that.
I can't admit that I wasn't maybe a little bit disappointed that we weren't able to do a Fangirls panel, because I think being able to do a live Fangirls panel would offer a lot. I think for us able to provide a live panel would be so much fun for the Fangirls to be able to discuss.
I think next year I'm going to just submit Fangirls and not live, because I think because one, I don't have to do shit. And two, like this year I cosplayed and no one knows. Like I wrote an article, but I don't talk about it. And I actually had fun doing that. I understand why you would do it now. And
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
that was the first time I've actually just got to relax at a con, and that was amazing.
Yeah, cosplaying's a lot of fun.
Other than I got into a fight with my mother-in-law that day.
As long as, well, that's neither here nor there. Sometimes, there's weather issues or things like that kind of brings down cosplaying. But cosplaying's so much fun. But yeah, I think doing a fangirl panel would be really interesting.
And I think I know who. We got to find a fourth though. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
There has to be a fourth on that one.
I agree. So we have to make sure that we can arrange for a person to be available from work and travel and do those things.
At least I know there's 3 of us right now. Like I
Yes.
know that for a fact.
Absolutely, because we had those people there with us. So
What's been the most surprising moment so far in doing this? Sorry, there's so many I could. Damn.
go ahead.
I think honestly was the what was your first real episode? Was it What's in the Box?
Yeah.
I think it's that one.
Because I
honestly.
didn't know that I was going to be a part of recording.
Well, no, it was just the
in
one with the
Dallas.
wine show,
Yeah.
and then all of us. Well, yeah, Dallas was kind
Yeah.
of a throw. It was just supposed to be you on the winos, and as we know with life, things change,
Yeah.
and that happened. That happened really fast.
Yeah.
And like I think it's 77. You're on like every episode after that.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and I mean that's something to look at. And now the cat's howling. But yeah, that, and I think surprisingly was the fact that you came into something where you had no idea what you were getting into
Yeah.
and have killed it.
Yeah.
You just rolled with everything. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't give a crap. Just do it.
Yeah. I think it's become. I get to say that it's my magazine now, and that's okay.
Oh, it is.
And that's wonderful. And I have been so grateful to get to be a part of it, and I get to contribute ideas, and that has been amazing. And when I get to see something that I have suggested become to be, it's wonderful. Fangirls was something that I suggested, and that it was my little baby, and that's wonderful.
Did you guys come up with the name for that, or was it me?
That was mine.
I didn't know if it was you guys or not. I thought it was, but I wasn't 100%
Yeah, that was
sure. I
mine.
know I did the logo.
Yeah, you did the logo for that one. So every little step that I have made from that point on, it's just been really wonderful to get to be a part of it, and
It's been
it's just
crazy.
been great.
It's been crazy. One of my favorite. Okay, so this is something I'm going to answer this because it's not really on the list, but I see this a lot. Is why don't we hype up our Patreon more? Do you know how awkward it is for me to hype that up?
It's not fun asking for money. It's not.
I would rather do, hey, buy a shirt, buy something from us and support us that way, because you get something in return and you're not giving us money every month, because I don't.
It just sucks. Like, it sucks in general. Whenever I'm at work and I have to hear the ladies at the front desk be like, your account balance is $200. You have to be paid. You have to pay to be seen. I'm like, ugh. Like, I don't want that job. It's terrible.
Like, and I don't like. That's one reason I haven't talked about it. Like, we have it. I've had it for a year and a half, and I don't promote it even on the website very much. Like, there's an ad there, and I hate having the ad there. And the only reason I do have it there is just because I haven't took it down yet because I'm lazy.
That's one of the reasons that we want to offer things in return, because if you were willing to support us, then that we are really, really grateful.
Yeah, and I mean, but like I said, I'd rather just have you guys buy a T-shirt,
Yeah.
or buy something from Burning Willow, or do that instead of supporting, like going to Patreon and be like, "Here's money." I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I think the perks on Patreon are cool. Like, I like that concept of it, but I don't want to have to make that be a thing where you get this really cool thing if you give this much money. Like, I feel like I'm PBS at that point.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel like that.
Yeah.
It's an awkward situation just going. I used to have I feel it's more, okay, so with Patreon, I get it. Like, you're supposed to create content and all that. I felt more comfortable having a donate button on the website than I do talking about Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the concept, but I just feel awkward.
Yeah. I get it.
It's like going outside naked.
Yeah,
It's just weird.
right.
But how important are the fans of the shows?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you guys.
Oh my
fuck.
gosh.
You know, if there was only like 3 of you, we'd probably still do this. I mean, honestly.
We would. Like, absolutely we would.
I've seen ourselves pop up in the top 10 on certain list of shows on hosts that we've been on. And that to me is the most surreal thing because there's some really big shows on some of the hosts we've been on.
The fact that anyone bothers to listen to anything I say is outstanding. Like, it's just like blows me away. I don't know why anyone would listen to anything I have to say.
At least you don't have a very annoying voice.
I think I do.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I do too.
I think I have a nasally, like, baby voice.
At least, I'm not going to say that because it's mean. Not towards you, for someone else. But
Yeah, you probably should.
no, I'm not going to say that one. No, I've listened to people talk on shows where I'm just like, it sounds like nails on a chalkboard, and I don't feel that with our shows other than my own voice. But I think if you hear yourself, you just...
I think anyone thinks they sound
Yeah.
terrible.
I know that I've been told that I have a voice for radio, and I went...
I have heard this. I've heard this about you, yes.
And I've done that before. I don't... Whatever. Yesterday, I got praise for doing my intro for an interview in one breath.
No.
I blew out... By the way, how many candles was on that fucking cake? 34?
Yeah.
I blew them out in one take.
My kid complained because I don't put candles on his cake that are like equal to his birthday. He feels that's unfair.
It is
But
unfair.
anyway, yeah, we really
I've done too many recordings lately. I can tell.
we have been to things where there was only one person to listen to us, and we have been to conventions where there was hundreds of people, and it doesn't matter how many people are there.
I just threw a card across the room at the cat. Sorry.
It doesn't matter how many people are there. Every single person is incredibly important to us. I've had a person like recognize the shirt that I was wearing at a convention, and stop to talk to me because they saw a video that we did, or they read an article that someone else on the magazine had done, and that is absolutely amazing to me, that the idea that they were able to find that on the vast internet and was able to recognize me from the magazine. That just blows my mind.
The most surreal thing is, and that's in our hometown, right? That's in our town we live in? Or
That was actually, that particular thing happened on...
if you tell me one of your kids' school trips, I'm going to lose my shit.
No. That was, it was at a convention. So it
Oh,
was-
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes
But
it
I
even
mean,
more cool.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing for me was when we go to other towns and somebody's like, oh my God, I love your guys' show. I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
you
it's
don't know how to
really
take
weird.
it. Like, I can take an email compliment so much better than I can a face compliment because
Right.
I'm like, because I just want to hug people all the time, and I know that's not
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Well.
overly like, yay, and then I want to bear hug them, and
Well, the internet seems so huge and so vast, and so when it actually happens in person-to-person
weird.
contact,
it's awkward.
it's so amazing to think that it would come down to, person interaction. It's so weird.
It's fun for me to interact with fans. Like, I took comments off the website, not because I don't like interacting with fans, because I know that I have a problem with internet comments anyway.
Well, a lot of the things that we do are for ourselves. Like when I write for my own self. I know that sounds weird.
The only time I don't do that's when I do news.
Yeah. And so if you don't like what I say, then that's okay. That is fine. And so even in a lot of the things that when I write in like Sharon Meets Pop Culture, or in my newer one, Inappropriate Behavior, I know that there's going to be things that I say that people don't agree with. And that's fine. I don't care, because it is my opinion. And so I know you took out the option to comment because we don't really care if there's an individual that wants to argue about it.
I don't mind negativity. Like, that's not the thing here. Like, I don't mind constructive criticism, but I know if you're going to send me constructive criticism, you're going to go out of your way to send it.
Right.
I would rather people do that because I mean I get a ton of emails about the show, but I know that when I do that, it's because we put the email on the show too.
We also don't want, someone sharing their opinion to have the next person attack them, and we don't want it to.
Technically, our website's a safe space.
Yeah, we don't want it to kind of snowball from there and have people just attacking and attacking.
Have you seen
we don't
Facebook
want trolls.
comments, people? It sucks.
Yeah, that's.
YouTube's even worse.
Yeah.
Like when I post a video, like the shows are now getting uploaded to YouTube, and it's like, do I leave comments on?
Yeah. And if it is something that you want to talk to us about, you can message us. Before I was a part of the magazine, I used to send Richard messages to comment about his medical stuff. It's true.
All the time.
It's true.
Like I remember you sending me something. It was on live, and you called me out on something, and I went, "Well, I feel dumb."
Yeah.
So thanks for that.
I wasn't being mean either. I was just like, here's the medical information about that.
I think it was the mesothelioma ads that were constantly
probably.
playing, and you're like, yeah, you need to redo some stuff on that, you idiot.
I didn't call you an idiot.
Yeah, well. And one other thing we're going to discuss is a lot of people have asked about the format of this show. What is the format? I don't know.
Sometimes there is one, but most of the time there's not.
Well, I don't know with you guys how easy it is to record in segments yet. And I mean, we've done it, but it also takes longer to do a show that way because once you get in between breaks, you talk and you're just like, and it just stretches out the recording process. But that's why shows take forever to record. When you do a show like this, it's just like, here's an hour and a half, here's 2 hours, we hit it, we're done, we're gone, show.
We often go off topic, and it's fine, but it makes it longer.
Random show in the net. But I love doing both styles because it gives you variety because you never know what you're going to get when you come onto the show. Like, you never know if we're going to be talking about... Like, you don't know if you're going to get weird news in this episode and a nerd debate, and then the next episode you're going to get a candid conversation about the show, and then you don't know what's coming.
And honestly, some days we decide to record and we have zero plan. It does happen occasionally, and we're like, let's just go and see what happens. Those
are the best shows.
Yeah, and it normally works out really well for Richard and I.
With the exception, because that's where the Sweet Valley High thing came from.
Yeah. That did happen that day. I think I actually went into that show in a really bad mood.
You left that show in a really happy mood.
Yeah.
I think your kid was sick that day too.
I think so.
I think that was the day.
I think he was sitting in the living room. So often we have no plan, but most of the time we do.
It's fun. It's
fun
sometimes.
We really enjoy it.
Do I know if there's ever going to, all the other shows have structure? This one doesn't.
It doesn't.
I don't.
Winos doesn't have structure most of the time too.
But I mean, you know what you're going to discuss. We're drinking a bottle of wine. You know that's coming.
I have plans to typically talk about pet peeves, or but often I don't have the topic settled on. I just have intent,
and that works out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with this show, though. I know that with the wrestling show, you have to structure that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Especially when you do news. Because you have to go story to story to story to story to story.
Yeah.
And I can see that starting to bleed into my other shows now because I did it on the beginning of this show. Oh, hey, here's this story. Here's where we're going to go next.
We're trying to do better with Fangirls. That one's still in its infancy. So it's still
once
growing.
a month now. And I mean, honestly, September is the next show because I think it happened in August.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it's still growing, and hopefully it's just going to get better. But, we have to have patience with that show. And I say that in we as the people on it have to have patience because it's still growing.
Because you guys, it's hard to get two people in the same room together at the same time.
Yeah.
Try getting 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Especially with life.
Yeah. But we're going to keep that one going because we do love it.
There's a lot of these shows are just easy to honestly, today's show, this is probably one of my favorite episodes of live ever. But I knew when I sat and went, let's reflect. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Because I know this show is not for anybody but our listeners and us.
Yeah.
I know this is not for this episode's not for the people who come to the website just to go to the website and be like, oh, they have a new show up, I'll listen to it.
If someone decides today to start listening,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to episode 100 up.
Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite episodes, by the way. 100
It's a good one.
Great. I think that's going to be everything. There's just a lot of things, guys, when you ask us, and we're going to try to answer it 100%. There's no really process of putting these shows together. We don't know what we're doing probably half the time.
But we love it.
We enjoy it, and honestly, there's no telling. Like, we know what the next step is, and that's what we're going towards.
It's always a work in progress.
Oh
and
yeah, I know.
We're so thankful that we have people that keep coming back to listen and to read.
I don't know whether to thank you guys or just tell you thank you. Like, you're gluttons for punishment sometimes, but because I know that this show sometimes can be like, "Are you?" What? I made a really horrible joke on Cinecrap this week, like one you would actually ridicule, scold me for. I'll tell you when we go off the air because I'm not going to say it again. But actually, Brody and I did a really bad joke. That also gives people a chance to listen to Cinecrap. That's what
Okay.
but no, there's a lot of things with these shows. Like, we're probably going to offend you at some point. I know that's going to happen.
And it's okay if you disagree with us on stuff. I'm sure you.
I want you to.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be like, well, as you can tell, the tournament we're being disagreed with. Because we had Wonder Woman and Spidey.
Yeah.
Neither one of them are in the Final Four. What the shit, guys? What the shit? Not even Batman's going to make the championship. Fuck all of you, by
So
the way.
weird.
When we do horror movies, I swear to God, if Scream wins, we're going to have a long discussion. We're just going to have a sit-down discussion because I know the next one's Christmas. Yeah. I might do Halloween candy, though. It is something I discussed. Like, the two we've thought about doing was Halloween candy or movies. But if we do Halloween candy, that means we get the sample candy while we record and do that bracket. Did you have to eat candy corn again?
Ugh.
I was trying to think of ways to get you to eat candy corn this year.
Maybe I'll say I have to live by Eli's no braces food list. That takes out like a huge chunk of gross Halloween candy.
But some of the good ones too, though.
Yeah, he basically can only eat like Hershey bars.
No, can you eat Kit Kats?
Yeah, he can eat Kit Kats.
Well, then you got Kit Kats and Hershey's. I feel like you're good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, the guys, live's going to continue. It's been nice actually doing a steady stream of shows. I didn't know this show was going up this week. I thought, let's come back on the whatever day it is next week.
It's been really nice having. I committed to like one steady scheduling day. I'm off in the mornings.
Which is now Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm off on Wednesday mornings. So I come every Wednesday morning before I go to work, and I come immediately after I get off work.
So you're recording like 2 episodes a day. Like, you just don't know what the shows are going to be. Like, live's one of them. You don't know whatever the second one's going to be.
Yeah. So that's been really nice, and I enjoy it. So yeah,
because we can actually knock out like 3 episodes of Are You Still Watching in a sitting.
Yeah,
and then the next week it's live, and
something
you might end up doing Cinecrap.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It's been good.
There's never a dull moment, and that's what makes this special. And guys, I said this in yesterday's episode of SNS. Right now is, I think I'm going to quote Abed, it's the best timeline.
Yeah.
It's surreal to me to know that now I'm getting interviews with people I looked up to as a kid, like Brian 2 years ago, and like some of the wrestlers, and now there's others on the table, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like, I'm not questioning it in a bad way. I'm like, this is nuts.
And you can quote Abed again and say the quilt of destiny brought us together.
Yes. I love that episode now. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. And guys, stick around because we don't know what's coming, but we know it's going to be fantastic and weird.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to return to all this stuff. Oh, this is something that always... I said this in an article last week. I am going to return to what brought me to the dance. Ta-da! The articles that made this site special, the halls, which we've changed. And I haven't wrote one yet, but it's going to be while we're gone. Because I want to make those more special and not just about looks. I think with the time evolves, as we talked about that. There's that. There's WTFs, which I'm still going to do. We're going to return. Dan returned with self-help for the helpless. Oh, boy. Dan's going to return with a lot of articles. I actually thought even if I start writing politics, it's Dan.
Okay.
And I feel like Dan will be the only one that could be impartial.
Sounds good.
He's going to be a dick. And then there's going to be more stuff from there's going to be stuff that you don't expect, but there's also going to be stuff that you've loved and that hasn't been around in a while. What the fucks, PSAs. I've got a great PSA right now on my computer that has not seen the light of day, and I wrote it after a drunken experience with somebody, and I went, this has to go up because you don't show up drunk to a business meeting.
No.
So I thought,
you should not.
That's a Dan article waiting to happen, so that is... Or that's a PSA waiting to happen. So that's coming up. So, Sharon, is there anything you would like to add?
I don't think so. I think we've covered quite a bit.
This has been a really weird
Yeah.
This has been one of those episodes you did not expect getting yourself into.
It's
It was
been
like,
good though.
we're going to do a reflection episode.
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
It's been good.
This is Sharon's 2-year anniversary. Like, I know it's October's when I officially announced it, but the show that you came back on, like the first show you did, was this week.
Yeah.
It's Pie Brows, by the way.
I'm just really glad that that I found a good home here, and that, like I said, that I've had listeners and readers that have made it possible for me to be here.
At least you haven't got the weird, like, I masturbate to you in prison email yet.
Yeah.
Because I have had that. And
Yeah.
that's
as far as I know, you've done a really good job of shielding me.
I've done a really good job of shielding everybody.
Yeah.
Not because one of the things I don't want everybody to see is the sex emails, because those come. No pun
Yeah.
intended. Damn it. Those get sent to me occasionally, not for just this show.
For all of them.
No, not just for shows, but for writers.
Really?
Yeah, no, I get them all the time.
Oh, wow.
I get a lot of, are they single messages? Would they be willing to date people? And I'm like, did Tiffany, the first thing that goes to my mind, did Tiffany write it? She's going to kill me for this episode. And then the second thing was, oh, it probably wasn't. They're taken. So I'm like, no.
I think sometime you're going to have to like show some of them though.
Oh, no. What I'm going to do, there's an episode of Live that eventually will happen. And it was going to be 69. And then I ended up with the Brian interview on episode 69. So I thought episode 169, I am going to break out the sex emails.
Yeah, because they have those thirst emails where the celebrities read them.
Yeah, we're going to read all the... I'm going to tell you one thing that I get constantly in Rebecca's email is dick pics.
I can see that. That's super inappropriate.
And I've learned something in getting those photos. Uncut dicks are ugly.
Yeah.
If there's a tagline for the show, it's uncut dicks are ugly. Like that's it. That's probably what we're going out on. So stick around for that. Guys, that's going to wrap up this edition of Live. So for Sharon.
Bye, everyone.
I almost called you Sharon Dog.
No.
Oh, my God.
Don't do that.
That's a t-shirt right now. Pick up your Sassy Sharon shirt at Shop TBK. Guys, my name's Richard. We will see you next time on the most random show on the internet, and we're going to end this show like we do every other show with our resident satyr, which now you know more about. Torgo, take us home tonight.